United States provides humanitarian relief to Lebanon. The United States Agency for International Development, USAID, has donated $64 million to Lebanon to feed its most vulnerable amidst a worsening food crisis exacerbated by the invasion of Ukraine, which has ended food imports from that country. This timely donation through the United Nations World Food Programme will assist more than 740,000 Lebanese people via the provision of non-perishable grocery items such as lentils, pasta, rice and chickpeas, as well as vouchers for purchasing food at local markets to assist in boosting the economy. The United States is a recipient of 5 Shining World Leadership Awards for Compassion, 3 Shining World Leadership Awards for Good Governance, 7 Shining World Leadership Awards for Promoting Healthy Living, and Shining World Leadership Awards for Good Governor, Justice, Protection, and Environmental Protection, and a laureate of 24 Shining World Leadership Awards for Compassion, 3 Shining World Leadership Awards for Protection, 2 Shining World Leadership Awards for Loving Care, a Shining World Leadership Award for Good Governance, a Shining World Peace Leader Award, Shining World Caring Leadership Award, and Shining World Super Loving Care Leadership Award. Our gratitude, USAID and World Food Programme, for your timely and compassionate assistance to the soulful people of Lebanon. May our Lebanese brothers and sisters soon enjoy the peace, abundance, and joy they deserve, in Allah's care.
Shanghai, China, with 25 million plus at center of recent COVID surge. To contain the spread of the coronavirus, government officials implemented a partial lockdown on March 27th, followed by a full city-wide lockdown on March 31st, noting that the infection rate was much worse than that in Wuhan at the onset of the pandemic. Scientists say that Shanghai is seeing an Omicron subtype that is different from other strains in China and around the world. Nonetheless, restrictions in some neighborhoods eased on April 11th, but residents were still ordered not to leave their neighborhoods. And the US-based consultancy Eurasia Group has called China's zero-COVID policy one of the top risks of 2022. Our prayers go out to the residents of Shanghai, particularly those dealing with the illness. May humanity now choose the lasting solution to the pandemic, namely a conversion to the plant-based lifestyle, which will save us from zoonotic diseases in Buddha's abundant grace.
Australian man transforming petrol car to electric. A 28-year-old Albany man, George Nolden, has begun building himself an electric vehicle. With a budget of just over $16,500 for the entire project, Mr. Nolden purchased a second-hand four-wheel drive Suzuki Jimny, as well as an electric motor from another vehicle, and is using his engineering skills and information from the internet to create his dream electric four-wheel drive vehicle. With a goal of finishing by the end of next year, Mr. Nolden plans to drive his electric vehicle across the country, from Western Australia to the eastern states, with a solar charger on a trailer. What a great project, George Nolden, to convert a gas-powered car to electric and thus help to preserve our precious planet by cutting the use of fossil fuels. In the goodwill of the Providence, may all people now take the necessary actions, including switching to vegan food, to avert climate change and ensure the health of the earth.
Over 1,000 Mozambican farmers will get access to fruit drying machines. Austrian cooperation partners have provided 10 million euros to support a program to improve the fruit growing value chain in Mozambique's fruit-producing provinces. So far, this government initiative has delivered 17 fruit dryers to farmers, with plans to distribute 50 solar-powered fruit dryers in the 3 provinces classified as the country's orchards. An annual loss of post-harvest fruits due to a lack of processing facilities is currently estimated at around 20%, with a cost of $1 billion. The new technology is anticipated to have this loss within 5 years by significantly increasing the shelf life of harvested fruit. Our ACLES, Mozambican government, and Austrian cooperation partners for your innovative solution to preserve nature's delicious gifts and reduce food wastage. May this device support the hard-working farmers of Mozambique to preserve and sustain their harvests in divine radiance.
Benevolent brothers make homeless feel loved. Mike and Nick Fiorito from New York, United States, quit their jobs and co-founded Blankets of Hope to spread a little kindness to indigent people. To date, Blankets of Hope has brought warmth to individuals in 43 US states and 3 countries abroad by partnering with schools who send them to shelters. Each blanket is delivered with an inspirational message, handwritten by thousands of young students whose participation in the project allows them to practice empathy and kindness in a lasting learning experience. Over 100,000 blankets have been donated thus far. 3 cheers, Mike and Nick Fiorito and all involved, for your praiseworthy collaborative efforts. May many people be inspired by your noble example and also show great care to others in celestial unity.
German Development Minister advises her fellow citizens to reduce meat consumption. Recently, Her Excellency Svenja Schulze, Germany's Minister for Economic Cooperation and Development, spoke on the news station Redaktionsnetzwerk Deutschland, warning that food security will be affected if animal-person livestock raising is not reduced and agriculture doesn't become sustainable. It would help the grain supply in developing and emerging countries in the medium and long term if we, in the rich countries, would eat less animal products, stated Her Excellency. She also stated that a 30% reduction in pork production in Germany would free up 1 million hectares of land to grow 5 million metric tons of grain. Thank you, Your Excellency Svenja Schulze, for making the citizens of Germany aware that avoiding consumption of animal people-based products benefits us all. We pray that people everywhere will recognize the need to quickly change to plant-based eating to ensure food security for all in heaven's guidance.
Photographer rescues abandoned animal people companions as Ukrainians are forced to flee their war-torn country. British photographer Nick Ted traveled from the United Kingdom to West Ukraine in an effort to save displaced animal persons left at train and bus stations, with some chained to lampposts as their caregivers fled the war. The companions were left behind because the transport companies would refuse to allow the furry friends on board. Mr. Ted and a group of volunteers are working hard to bring them across the border to shelter them in Poland. Many of these loving beings are facing post-traumatic stress disorder and are frightened and confused. In an effort to continue helping these distressed animal folk, Mr. Ted is documenting his work on social media to raise money for more supplies and a new ambulance. We laud you wholeheartedly, Mr. Ted, and all those who have assisted you, for your benevolent acts of kindness in transporting these sweet souls from Ukraine to safety. May God have mercy and forever bless Ukraine and her animal people with protection.